Do you need a mortgage broker in order for you to get a mortgage? Well, that's what we're going to be speaking about in this video. Good day, good day, good day. Samuel ICanWin here, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you about the differences between using a broker versus using a bank. And the interesting thing about this video is I'm sure you're going to get some insights into why most people choose to use a high street traditional bank in order to get their first mortgage product rather than using other mechanisms. So to start with the first question, do you need a mortgage broker in order to get a mortgage? And the answer to that is no. You can go to a traditional main high street bank and get a mortgage from a traditional bank. Now, I think a great question to start this video with is to ask the question, well, why do most people choose that path? Why do most people choose to go to a traditional high street bank and ask them to give them a mortgage? Well, the simple reason is because we've been educated into doing that. Now, when I say educated into doing that, what I mean is, well, when you go to primary school, secondary school, especially in the UK, we get taught by banks that come into our schools, or sometimes in universities, banks that come into our universities. And when we have fairs or when we have events, these banks come and tell us that they are the best way to go. They're the best way to go for us saving. They're the best way for us to go for investing. And then equally, they tell us they're the best place for us to go when it comes to mortgage products as well. Now, obviously, I am not a mortgage lender. I'm not a mortgage broker. But as a property investor, one of the things I think it's extremely important to do is to share with the community exactly why most people make certain decisions and whether those decisions are actually profitable for you, for I, and for other people as we go further faster on our property investing journey. Now, as mentioned, because many of us find these banks showing up in our schools, showing up in our universities, advising us and informing us that they're the best way to go, what happens is their effective marketing causes us, when we're in the situation where we're choosing our first ever mortgage in order to buy a house, to actually go straight to them. And some of the things I hear a lot from people that connect with me is, oh, but Samuel, they already know my financial situation. Oh, but Samuel, they've already got all of my information and all of my details. Now, the interesting thing is most of those comments come from a place of a myth, in the sense that, you know, a bank knowing your banking history for the last 7 years, 8 years, 24 years, 25 years doesn't make that bank any more knowledgeable as it relates to providing you a mortgage product. And the evidence of that is when you're looking for a mortgage product, even if you go to your high street bank that you've been banking with for the last 15, 20, 30 years, they're still going to say to you, we need to put you in touch with a different department. And the reason they're going to do that is because the specific department that deals with your banking is not the specific department that's going to deal with you on a mortgage product basis. So that's the first thing that's quite interesting to discuss, why we choose the high street bank. Now, the second thing that I think is really interesting to discuss is what value does an actual mortgage broker bring to the table? And in order to kind of share this with you, I think it will be important to share with you about the first mortgage product I ever got. Now, interestingly enough, the first ever mortgage product I got was on a residential property. It was on a property that my wife and I were going to live in. And as a result, we had the choice. We could go to our high street bank and ask about products, or we could go and find a mortgage broker. And what we decided to do was to find a mortgage broker, because at that time we had already been doing a few things in the property industry. So it was already kind of, I guess, a bit clued up about what could and what shouldn't happen in our process. So we went and found a mortgage broker, and in a little while in this video I'm going to explain to you the exact type of mortgage broker that I would encourage you to go and find if you're going to use one. And when we found this mortgage broker, the mortgage broker did an absolutely brilliant job. But one of the things that was interesting about our scenario, which might relate to yours, is we had specific intentions. Now, one of our intentions was to buy the property, and very soon after buying the property, to rent that property out as a buy-to-let property, or to start to generate revenue from that property. So although we had lived in the property, we're going to buy the property to live in the property, we didn't have a long-term goal to stay in that property. Our short-term goals were literally to buy the property, secure it on a residential mortgage, and as soon as we could ethically possibly do so, move out and rent the property out. So this is what we shared with the mortgage broker, and as a result, the mortgage broker was able to put in front of us a number of different products. And what he shared with us was product A, and I'm not going to use the name of any of these lenders because I don't want to endorse anyone who's not sponsoring the channel, but very simply, he gave us product A and said to us, product A is a great product. It has the lowest interest rate. However, when it comes time for you and your wife to desire to rent the property out, they are going to send you a load of paperwork, yay thick, for you to read through and sign before they agree for you to rent that property out. Then he spoke to us about product B. He said product B, again, is a great product from another separate company, but the difference with product B is when you are ready to rent out that property, you will literally be able to do so by picking up the phone, calling that specific lender and just informing them of what your intentions are. And by the end of that phone call, they will literally allow you to start to rent that property out. And then product C was the third product that we actually ended up going with. But for product C, what he explained to us was this organization, this lender, this company, what they will do is they'll give you the residential mortgage. They weren't the best rate, they weren't the highest rate either. But after giving you this particular mortgage, when you are ready to rent that property out, you will have to phone them in order to request what they call consent to let, which is how you take a residential property without converting it to a buy-to-let mortgage, but still renting it out. And if you're interested in more information about what I've just shared and it's not very clear, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll be happy to maybe do a video on that as well. So with product C, what happened was they were a company that would give us the residential mortgage. After, when we were ready to rent that property out, they would allow us to phone up and ask for consent to let. They'd send us a form, we'd fill out the form, agree through the form, and then straight after that, we'd pay an extra 1% interest on whatever interest rate we had secured previously. So, you know, some of you might be saying, but Samuel, if it wasn't the cheapest interest rate, especially in the current landscape, and if it wasn't the easiest to convert to a buy-to-let or consent-to-let property, why did you go with option C? Well, some of you who've been following my channel for a while, you know I'm a praying man. So what I literally did is I prayed about it and I literally asked God, what do you think I should do? And I felt led to go with the third product. And that's the reason why we went with the third product. Now, we've had that mortgage for way over 5 years now. We've seen it through. We were able to rent the property out as well and get the consent to let at the time. And we've been very, very happy with the product. Now, I don't know the future, so I don't know what would have happened with the other products, whether those companies may have made changes, etc. But I'm very glad with the decision that my wife and I made. So that helps you guys understand the value of a mortgage broker, because traditionally, if I decided to go to a high street bank, a traditional high street bank, what would have happened was I wouldn't have had 3 different products from 3 different organizations presented to me by this mortgage broker. What I would have had was potentially 3 different products, all from the same high street lender, presented to me from a biased, and yes, I will say it because it is the truth, a biased mortgage advisor who's based inside of whatever high street bank. And they're only biased because the only products they're going to be able to offer you are products from that specific high street lender. Now, this leads us into a great third point to share in the video, and that is, what are the benefits of using a mortgage broker? Now, one of the first benefits of using a mortgage broker is that a good mortgage broker should be independent, okay? And by independent, that means exactly what I was just speaking about a moment ago in the video. They are not hinged to any specific lender. So as a result, they're not going to force you down a particular path or advise you to go down a particular route for their own financial benefit or for their own financial gain. They're going to be totally independent and share with you what they think is the best deal based on your circumstance and scenario. Now, a second benefit in my understanding of using an independent mortgage broker is that that independent mortgage broker should be able to have a good idea of your goals. You should be able to speak to them, share with them exactly what you're trying to achieve. Like in the case of my wife and I, we wanted to buy that house as a residential property and in due course convert that house into being able to generate revenue. So because we was able to share that with the broker, we was able to look at products that relate to the goal that we wanted to achieve. So that's the second benefit of working with a broker, the fact that you can work on your goals holistically. Now, the third benefit, which I think is very, very important, is that when you are looking for a mortgage broker, you should try to make sure that you secure a mortgage broker who is whole of market, okay? Now, by whole of market, what that means is that that mortgage broker has access to all of the products in the whole mortgage market within the UK or whichever location you're in specifically. So I want to encourage you to really think about those three benefits as you go forward, maybe to get your first mortgage if you're watching this video and that's where you're at, or maybe to get your next mortgage if you're someone who's more advanced, like many of the people who come to our channel. And I want to encourage you on your property investing journey just to make sure that you don't always do what everybody else does, because it's never going to get you the results that a few of us have. So that being said, Samuel ICanWin, I'm signing out. And as I usually say, remember that small keys open up big doors. And I want to encourage you to do all the YouTube stuff, hit that like, press subscribe, write a comment, let us know how we're doing on this channel in terms of adding value to you to help you move further faster in your property investing journey. And maybe go watch one of these other videos that YouTube's going to recommend for you in order to help you move forward on your property investing journey. I'll see you on the next one. Good day. God bless. Take care.